Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 2018 Core Summit. We are super excited to have you all in the room today. We've got an awesome day planned ahead. For those who don't know me, my name is Rob Wu, and I manage operations for _VC. You might recognize some other faces on stage. Co-founding partner Michael Skok, also wannabe photographer. So Michael's too modest to say it, but if you don't follow his Instagram page or his photography blog, it's actually incredible. So definitely do that. Also joined by, it's true, also joined by co-founding principal Richard Delude, who's also a ski master. And I think 400 years back, you were actually an Olympic alternate.
Yeah,
which is
retired
pretty
athlete.
Well, you look great. You look great. And of course, last but not least, the international man of mystery, co-founding partner, John Pierce. So we actually learn something new about John Pierce every single week. And this week, we learned that John actually doesn't fill out online applications because he never submits. No. Okay. No, but, I'll be here all day. Seriously, I will be here all day. Yeah. But of course, you can also see that our team doubled in size this year, and I'm really excited to introduce our new CFO, Jimmy Orsillo, who just joined us, and he'll introduce the rest of the team.
Thank you, Rob.
Yep.
Thank you. As Rob said, there are several new team members. I'd like to introduce them. So we have our jazz pianist, Sherman. Devin, the cake boss, Nash, and Lily Lyman, our resident Globetrotter. And this year, we're very fortunate to have several new faces in the audience as well. It's our largest summit ever with over 530 people, and we really thank you all for spending your afternoon with us.
Thank you. So there's an old saying at Underscore, which is, it takes a community. And then there's also this saying, which is, if you want to go quickly, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. Now, the second part of that I actually quite like. It's nice, makes sense, right? Bring a team together. You can really do incredible things like taking a summit. Now, the first part I actually don't really like that much, right? Number one, if you have anybody who ever gives you the advice to go summit a mountain alone, that is terrible advice. Do not take it. Second is nobody's ever built an IPO-able company alone. And that's what today is all about. Today is about bringing the community together to work on the companies you guys are taking on and building. Because everybody in this room has something to contribute to that mission, and we owe it to each other as a community to help build the companies that are right here in this room. And so I'll hand it over to Sherman to tell you a little bit about what's in store.
Great. We have such an exciting agenda lined up for you all today. We're going to start our ascent together with some lightning talks. We're going to explore some new areas with roundtable workshops, cool things down with some fun icebreakers to warm things back up with a fireside chat, and then close off the entire afternoon with a grand celebration of the Boston entrepreneurial ecosystem. And we sincerely hope that all of the memories, the relationships, and the lessons that you learned today stay with you as you leave this event. And so with that, I wanted to turn it over to Devin to share a few words on how you can capture and share these events with your own communities.
Thank you, Sherman. So today is really about having conversations offline, but we can also have conversations online. Of course, as the resident marketer, I have to tell you that we have a hashtag. Anything that you tweet or post today with the hashtag that includes an image will actually be printed out in the lobby with the hashtag printers, and it will be incorporated into our community mosaic. So I really highly encourage you, get out there. I see some of you out here tweeting, and you've been rolling in all morning. So get out there, tweet, add to our mosaic, and we really look to showcase that piece in our office after the event. So thank you.
As Richard said, at Underscore, we often say it takes a community to build great companies. And I want to thank all of you for joining us today at our third annual summit to further that experience and explore the future. I'd also like to thank all of our Core Summit sponsors who have been instrumental in helping us bring all of this together. It's quite an undertaking, but want to make sure that we thank them, they get recognized. Silicon Valley Bank, Amazon for their participation, also in the keynote later on this afternoon with Andy Jassy, Gunderson, Wilma Hale, TrueSearch, Cooley, and T3 Advisors, together with Goodwin, for their sponsorship, participation, and encouragement for us to keep working on this year after year.
So today really is about you. So I wanted to give you a quick sense of who is in the room. As Sherman mentioned, we have a great program of a fantastic lineup of speakers. We also are joined by over 50 rising stars from the community nominated by you, who are either founders or future founders, and who joined us this morning for a great discussion on building businesses and building products. And as Jimmy said, we have over 500 people here today from throughout the community. We have CEOs, founders, C-suite executives representing over 200 companies. And so we hope you get to know each other today. Today is about making new connections. And so we thank you for coming and excited to have you all here.
Thanks, Lily. So funnily enough, the biggest challenge we have is that this keeps getting bigger. And so we try to listen to you to say, what do you actually want? Because bigger is not always better. And the challenge last year was that over 2,000 of you decided to engage with us, which is wonderful. It's an incredible sign of what the Boston community wants to give. But it's not intimate. And so during the course of the last year, we changed things up quite a bit. We listened to your feedback, and we organized 15 different events, some of which were very intimate roundtables that, for example, were by domain or by stage or by function, which is how we curate the community, and some of which were larger events. For example, Richard organized the Blockchain Summit, which he'll talk to you about, because that was a very topical group. About 150 people came for that and 300 for the larger events. So we're going to continue to do this, but we also want your feedback on an ongoing basis, because today has got a lot of different things from what you told us you wanted. For example, less keynotes, less long talks, they're all lightning talks, more engagement, more fun, and hopefully it turns out to serve you well. So with that, I'll say thank you to my team and bring you briefly to a quick update on Underscore. So as you know, Underscore was started with a listening tour, and the listening tour was all about how can we help you? And so I'm very proud to say that we are now 30-plus investments in after just 3 years. And this is a Boston-based firm. It's also a Boston-biased firm, but it's not Boston limited. So I want to thank many of the people who came from the West Coast or from, for example, Texas, New York, many other places to join us today. There's many of you, and we really appreciate that. What's exciting for us is that there were several new investments made this year alone. And if you take a moment to recognize the founders, I'd like to have them stand, because any of our portfolio members who are in the audience, we want to recognize you, so please stand. These are the bold, brave entrepreneurs who are daring to change our world. And we only let the founders in because we couldn't bring all the teams, otherwise we really would be overloaded. But I hope you get to meet more of them. I'm happy to tell you that they've hired hundreds of people this last year. They've also raised tens of millions of dollars. And perhaps more importantly, they've created hundreds of millions of dollars worth of value for our LPs, who are also the partners in the audience today. And most excitingly for us, they're growing. They're growing on average 100+%. Even the larger companies that are in the tens of millions of dollars are showing growth of 300% in some cases. So this is the result of the work that you, our core communities, brought. And so the vision we had with Underscore, listening to you originally from that feedback in the listening tour, was how could you get involved? And I get asked this all the time. People say, how can I engage? Well, we have two programs. We have the Core Partner Program, which allows any of you to give your time, and many, many, many of you have. And when you do, we surround you we surround the entrepreneurs with those of you that can help by domain, by stage, by function to support them in the building. And to give you a sense of this, on every company we have, average, there's about 12 to 15 of these people who engage. Now, the good news is we pay for you. So the equity that we give to reward our core partners comes out of our investment, so it never costs the founders anything. That's what we mean by alignment. We don't think it should ever cost our entrepreneurs. We want to see our community able to support and to be rewarded for it. And now a number of you have also been incredibly successful and have made the kind of money that you want to reinvest back in the community. And for that, there's the Core Syndicate program. And that program has also brought, on average, 12 to 15 people into each of our investments. And to give you a sense of this, by the way, millions of dollars have already been given out in core shares. The partner program has allowed that. And millions of dollars have been invested by you in this core community. So you've really delivered for us in terms of what you said you'd do. And that is something we really thank you for. So give yourselves a big hand. Thank you very, very much.